Live and Let Drive is no longer a road trip show. I'm not sure it's even a car show. Why? Because JF, my good friend and producer, has nixed every one of my good ideas and my bad ideas, which is why this season, season 2 of Live and Let Drive, we're going to do something a little different, because this time we have the money. Since the beginning of this show, we have sought the true origins of civilization as I know it, and the reasons why the Vikings came to North America. We look for this in Area 51 in El Salvador. And this season, in episodes 1, 2, and 3, we will come closer to the origins of this mystery in Iceland, land of the Vikings. Iceland is a mere 4 hours and 55 minutes from New York, closer to New York than Los Angeles. And as bizarre and alien as Los Angeles is to New York, Iceland is even more bizarre. Iceland is one of those places from which, if anyone says they come, and that was a clever turn of phrase, grammar, from me, people are instantly confused and intimidated because no one knows anything about Iceland. All of our adventures, all of this research have led us inexorably to this place, where for the first time we found an actual full-scale, life-size model of one of the first vessels used by the Vikings. A one-man sailing ship, clearly a very small man, sailed this to what is now known as northern Nevada. And I came here to find out if even the Icelanders knew anything. Upon arrival at the airport, imagine an IKEA catalog brought to life with everyone looking Icelandic, aka blonde. And outside in the parking lot, it is a sky like chipped ice. I've said this so many times. It is Iceland. We, of course, assuming the worst about conditions and hoping to drive and investigate volcanoes, rented the most appropriate vehicle.
The Land Rover Defender, a vehicle illegal in the United States.
The Defender is considered one of the best off-road vehicles in the world. And in this case, it has to be because it happens to come with a form of insurance even I've never seen.
I hope we took out ash and sand insurance.
Sand and ash insurance. Clearly, people are taking this off-road.
I could not be more excited.
And however cool it seemed in my mind my entire life, however much I thought I wanted one, upon getting into it and attempting to start it, I knew that I would not have those feelings ever again.
This is not funny.
What are you doing? Start the car.
Dude, I'm trying to start the car. The key's a little wonky, dude. You know, maybe the wheel? Dude.
The ignition button anywhere?
How many car guys, how many drive staffers does it take to...
For the battery.
These buttons do.
Nothing.
I challenge you to come here and start this car.
Okay. All right.
Okay. How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
The wheel lock.
That's what I thought. Okay, good job.
We often complain about government officials testing cars, preventing cars from being sold in the United States, and imposing crash standards which require small volume manufacturers from overseas to destroy several cars just to get permission to sell them in the United States. But I promise you, after driving the Defender, that I have new faith in American bureaucracy.
So this vehicle apparently is not sold in the United States, and although it looks really badass, 5 minutes of driving and I can tell you exactly why. It is everything an SUV it's supposed to be.
Handling? No.
The center of gravity is high. It has no handling.
Brakes? No.
The brakes are non-existent.
Ergonomics? Nothing.
My left arm is almost immovable.
I could barely hold the steering wheel from which to gain enough leverage, which in a vehicle which has almost 34 turns lock to lock, you need to do some real turning to get that car out of a straight line.
The controls for the window, which are manual, cannot be accessed while driving without crashing the car.
This is one of the most dangerous cars in the world to drive, and it should not be sold in the United States. And it should not be sold anywhere.
But it sure looks badass.
Here, the major highway linking Keflavik Airport to Reykjavik is pretty much straight. On your left, fishing villages, which comprise the majority of the economy of this country. On your right, a barren wasteland made of very peculiar green and gray colored rocks covered with moss, and statues made of gravel and boulders.
Okay. Look, it's an olive on top of a pile of rocks.
Entering Reykjavik made me wonder if maybe this was the Detroit of the North. The first week of May, in a city The Economist called the wealthiest city of 2007,
They made so much money here that people were just, pissing kroner. I mean,
So you're saying like
people went to FedEx, Kinko's, and printed kroner on a copier, and that was legal because they were making so much money.
in the capital of major companies and hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars were at one point controlled, Reykjavik is utterly devoid of people. And not only are there no people, there's also no cell phone service, my GPS doesn't work, and I'm driving a Defender through a city whose street names I can't spell, nor even explain to anyone how one would pronounce them phonetically. And I want to love it. But I'm starting to think that Iceland might be the New Zealand of the North minus language I can comprehend, or people who even in theory might even share something in common other than Formula off-roading and a love of fish and fighting and Vikings, all of which I was hoping to find here because of course my theory is that Vikings are the source of everything.
Now I am starving, and I have yet to see the equivalent of a coffee shop.
Hard to find a place to eat breakfast in Reykjavik because where you would normally look for a crowd of people, there are no people in the street anywhere during rush hour on a Thursday morning in Reykjavik.
Look at this place. Look at this place.
there you go. We got a cafe right.
So we found a diner or a coffee shop or a bookstore or all of the above, and we ordered each what's called skir, which is highly sugared yogurt in a bath of cream. I ate the whole bowl. This led to a 2-hour nap in the back of the Defender while waiting for the keys to the apartment in which I would then sleep another 6 hours. After 7 hours, we woke up. Although it did say it was 9 o'clock, that was clearly impossible because it was daylight out.
It is still light out.
Clearly impossible. But this is Iceland. Possible. So we got back in the Defender and went looking for the amazing nightlife of Reykjavik. All I cared about was finding the most popular restaurant in all of Iceland, which was a hot dog stand. Actually, yes, a hot dog stand.
Let's navigate me to the right place first because I'm like,
Lost once again, we ended up down by the fishing docks, surrounded by rusting, enormous, stubby, tall fishing boats, warehouses. And then I heard something that made me feel at home.
street racing meet over here.
I saw like 5 cars come out and here with exhausts. Look, it's totally street racing me. Look at all these fucking guys. Look at all these guys.
Street racing, car culture in Iceland.
All right.
That's a skyline right there. Let's go over right there. Come on, we gotta talk to this guy.
I ran out, approached the first 2 cars, hoping they'd recognize me. And unbelievably, they did. I asked if they wanted a hot dog, and they said, "Have you been to the best restaurant in Iceland?" And we were off. Our new friends then took us to Vikings Defender, which is the best restaurant in Iceland, which is a hot dog stand. Now, I probably didn't pronounce it correctly, but this is one of those countries where no matter how you pronounce something, unless you're from that country, you will never be able to spell it, Google it, and locate it. But I promise that if you Google best hot dog stand in Iceland, you'll find this place.
You have no idea how grateful we are to have met you. And I'm so glad we had a window open so we could hear the sound of a good car exhaust. Would you introduce yourselves to the camera so we know who you are?
Yeah. My name is Linur. Baldur. Jakob.
And this is your car or your car?
My car.
That's your car. What is it?
This car, it's a Nissan Skyline R33.
And how many cars like this are there in Iceland?
There are about 5, but not much on the streets.
Is this not a very conspicuous and obvious car to be driving in Iceland? You
Yeah.
don't be Logriland,
Yeah.
see this coming and know that you're probably going to be driving above the speed limit?
Yeah, I got a lot of bad attention about it. Also good attention.
All right, now let's talk about this car. I see that you've pulled out part of the interior to save weight.
No, it just...
Oh, it came like
I'm
that.
still working on it.
Now, do you guys take your cars out on the road and actually, like in Japan, go racing in the mountains?
No, the roads on the mountains are pretty bad too.
So where does one get to enjoy these cars?
Just here in Reykjavik.
Really? And the police don't come by? I mean, we just happen to hear you in the parking lot, the exhaust. The police don't know in advance that you're going to be doing this and come hunting you down?
Yeah, on Saturdays and Fridays they are like have probably some ring that go by there, check us out.
And do you have anti-laser or jammers or radar detectors?
I don't have
or-
anything like that.
How about you?
I have one, but Mr. Fucker putting it in.
Is it legal?
Yeah, it's legal, but not the laser thing.
The scramblers.
Yeah.
Because we did see some police officers with some kind of gun aimed at cars leaving the airport.
Yeah.
I wouldn't last long here. All right, let's get a hot dog and talk about this some more.
Our new friends confirmed everything I'd heard about Iceland. Everybody speaks fluent English. Everyone seems pretty happy to be here. There's a reason the life expectancy is 83 or 84, and people are healthy and stay in Iceland. And people the world over, including in Iceland, love driving. And they're not interested necessarily in drag racing or even setting records by lapping the island like I'd hoped to. But they love cars.
You work in the cars yourselves, or you take it to a shop? How do you service these cars?
I mostly do it by myself. I also have my dad helping me because he knows things about those.
And you have to order all the parts from overseas.
Yes,
Everything.
Everything.
And I know that everything in Iceland's expensive because you have to import everything.
Yeah.
How much of your, I guess, savings do you spend? What percentage of money you make you spend on your car?
Mostly everything.
Yes, I'm always
I
broke.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
Just enough to pay the gas and drive around.
I have to say, I've been to a lot of places, and I always say, with amazing car culture, wherever I go, you guys are truly, truly dedicated. Because here, the weather is also against you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you go through a lot of tires because of the road quality or the rocks?
Sometimes it depends on how the car is set, because if the tires are the wheels are like this, then it wears on the inside
And
a lot.
I imagine that you set the camber like this,
Yeah.
so you can really. Yeah, I see it. I see. You guys are crazy, but I love it. Absolutely.
It's cold and the roads suck, but there is still car culture. And there are guys who will spend even more than El Salvadorian car fans will spend to own these cars. Amazing cars, like an R33 Skyline, one of only 5 in the country, and we found it. And these guys, 22, 23 years old, will spend pretty much all their money to maintain these cars. And if you think that's crazy, there's biker culture here too. And what's even crazier about any of this is that they spend half the year with these cars and these bikes in storage because the weather prevents them from driving, with an extra pair of rims because of the condition of the roads and the ash and the sand and the gravel. I mean, I thought some people I met loved their cars back home, and in El Salvador it made them appear like they didn't really love their cars as much as guys in El Salvador. But to be a car lover in Iceland, you gotta be crazy. Really nuts. We're named Baldur.
Well, there's something crunchy and very odd. It's delicious, but it's weird. It's, if you ever have, say, dried crickets, which are delicious, and you put them in a bun, and you add mustard and another sauce that looks like mustard but isn't, and a hot dog, you have this. It's delicious, but it's a little weird.